Welcome to your total body workout for the ovulatory phase. This one will focus on strength and conditioning without any dumbbells. So we're ditching the weights today and we're using body weight resistance only. One piece of equipment you will need is an elevated surface. I'm using a chair that's about knee height. You could also, if you're kind of new to the practice or maybe you have wrist sensitivities, you can use a lower surface for that. You could use the first or second stair on a staircase, maybe a small workout step, or even a lower bench or stool. You just want something stable that's not going to move around. We're using that step to create a little bit more tension, a little bit more resistance for our lower body exercises. And then we're using it to lift the feet and support our body weight on the hands to tone the upper body. So we're incorporating that elevated surface to make better use of our body weight, to kind of let that resistance go a little bit further, especially in the ovulatory phase where we have estrogen and a boost in testosterone working to our advantage. We want to use this opportunity to send the signal for muscle development, for muscle growth. So today's practice, we have 8 exercises, kind of our typical circuit training mode and fashion for today. The framework stays very much the same, but the exercises are very intentionally chosen for this body weight work. We have 40 seconds of work, 20 seconds of rest. We're kind of going to alternate between a strength-focused exercise, strength and core, and then something that has a conditioning component. You will have high impact options offered for today to get that intensity up and create that metabolic conditioning demand, but you can always take low impact options if that serves your body better. I'll give you all of those options and variations in the workout preview. It's a separate video linked below. The one item that's a little bit hard to kind of modify without a chair or a higher surface, let's say you're going without the elevation or you're using something smaller like a stair. The only one that is the exception is our chair jumps, where we are working into a jump squat from the chair. So from that seated position all the way up. So you might want to have a chair around for that. If not, you can just take kind of air squats to a heel lift or a very gentle jump squat for that exercise. Now is the time where it's okay to turn up that intensity. It's okay to push your limits, kind of flirt with that upper limit of the intensity. However, if you're starting to feel a little bit of that dip into luteal phase mode, maybe the high intensity feels like it's just not quite accessible for you today, slow things down. Focus on control, on steadiness, and creating that muscle tension through mind-body connection. So there's kind of 2 modes of operation in the ovulatory phase, and I want you to really serve wherever you are along that spectrum, from kind of glowing, unstoppable goddess to kind of more of that early luteal VIP. So you can be anywhere in between and you can make this workout work for you. That's what I love about body weight work, is it's highly customizable and you can really be in the driver's seat, kind of guiding the intensity and the effort for today. I'll add a very quick warm up and cool down to bookend our practice. The workout itself is 24 minutes long, so altogether we come in under 35 minutes for our work today, and let's get started. Let's begin our total body workout today for the ovulatory phase. We are combining both strength work with some conditioning, focusing on increasing that intensity in this peak performance opportunity in the cycle. You won't need any equipment in terms of dumbbells or weights, but we are using an elevated surface today, something that can be chair height or slightly lower. I've got one that's about knee height. I'm also using a blanket to cushion that chair because mine's metal, so if you need a little bit of something like a towel or a blanket, you can use that for comfort on your elevated surface. We have a brief warm up and a brief cool down that will bookend our practice in the middle. We're in circuit training again today. This is 8 movement patterns, 40 seconds of work, 20 seconds of rest. Very straightforward, very simple. We're completing our circuit 3 times through. I'll walk you through all of the timing and the exercises, and we will get that started now. We'll have 20 seconds to get ready for that warm up. Maybe you roll out the shoulders, take a few deep breaths. We're starting with a very simple squat to a knee hug. So I want your feet to be about shoulder width or hips width distance apart. Roll those shoulders back, lift your hip points towards your low ribs. So we have this nice strong standing position. We're going to start in 5 seconds, again squatting and then just hugging a knee in, warming up the hips. Here we go. Let's begin. Squat it down and then hug that knee. Squat and knee. You could even take this into a bit of a hip circle to kind of lubricate that joint on either side. Really stretching the hip flexors and preparing the legs for our workout today. We're just here for 30 seconds in each exercise. We're going to switch next to a hip hinge with a calf raise. Bring your hands behind your head. Simple hip hinge here. We're going to fold the body in half, come up, lift high onto the toes. So fold the body there, come up and lift. Make sure your spine is staying straight and strong. I want you to draw the front ribs in. Reach the crown of the head away from your tailbone. Down and up. After this, we're coming into our spider lunge. So you're going to take a nice wide step and open toward that front leg. Twist that arm open and switch. Step the other foot forward. Twist toward that leg. We want a nice long stance here. So we're creating some distance between the thigh bones. And we're getting that thoracic spine rotation. So the upper spine opening and warming here. We're here just a few more seconds. Then we're going to come to our tabletop cat-cow here. So as you inhale, stretch your spine, shine your sitting bones back. Then as you exhale, round through the tail, coil through the belly, chin to chest, press through your hands. Inhale, open the spine, nice and long, send the gaze up. And as you exhale, round it in. You might sway side to side as you move through each phase of the breath here. Just waking the spine up. And then we're going to unfold to downward dog, pedal out the feet a few times here, and then roll forward to your plank pose. Unfold here, and then lift the hips back up, pedal out the feet, roll it forward to plank. So we're just kind of opening the shoulders here, back and forth between these two postures. Rolling forward, find your plank pose, lift your pubic bone toward your navel. And then we're going to walk the hands to the feet, nice and easy. Let's rise all the way up. Inhale as you reach your arms overhead, and then come back down, walk it out to plank. Just an inchworm pattern here. Walking those hands nice and easy, trying to keep the shoulders level as you do so. Let's get one more here, and we'll close out our warm-up. We'll get ready for the work. Come up, shake it out. We've got 30 seconds to set up for our first movement pattern of our circuit here. So we're coming into tricep dips. You're going to sit on your bench or your chair. We're bringing the hands behind you, hug them pretty close in so that you feel a little stretch across the chest. Fingers are facing forward. You want your hips to be close to that surface. We don't want to create any strain in the chest or shoulders. So we're coming just off that chair, and then we bend the elbows straight back and lift up. Can come to about 90 degrees in the elbows there, not too deep. We're focusing this on the triceps, less on the chest, though you will feel that chest stretch and work happening here. So we've got our first 40-second interval, strict strength here, and then we'll add some conditioning next. We're here for 15 more seconds. Take your time, really press through the heels of the hands. Let your fingers stay relaxed so that you're not gripping the chair. Just pressing through the heels of those hands and rest. Next up, we're coming into a side step up with a 180 jump. So you're going to step up to the side, hug a knee to the chest, come down, and 180 to switch to the other side. If the jumping is not for you today, you can just step together, switch, and go to the second side. Let's get ready to 1. We step it up, hug the knee, come down, 180 toward the chair, then right back into the second side. Up, come down, squat, jump, do your 180 to switch. I want you to be intentional with your movements. So we're not becoming so urgent with the pace that we lose the mechanics. Each movement has a purpose, and we are focusing. We're dialing in that intention. One more rep, and rest. Shake it out. Heart rate will climb during those conditioning bursts. Next up, we're going to bring our feet to that chair, bench, or stair. And we're just walking in and out from plank position up to your pike position. So let's come to that elevated plank. Make sure the heels are over the ball mounds of the feet and walk it in. Keep your shoulders even. You want to come to almost vertical with the torso if you can, and then walk it out. So notice you can slow things way down here so that you're not swaying the shoulders and hips side to side, but staying really strong and stable through the spine. So shoulders come over the wrists in both positions, just folding and unfolding the body here. Breathe in, breathe out. Walk it out, curl that pubic bone up toward the navel, and rest. Slowly step it down. We're coming into our step ups now to a reverse lunge. We're going to hop switch in that reverse lunge. So you step up, and then as you come down, step back, and you'll jump to exchange legs. You can also step forward and back to exchange legs. Here we go. Step it up, draw the knee in, step back, reverse lunge, jump switch. Now you're on the other side. Step it up, reverse, jump switch. I want you to take your time through that step up. Nice soft landing on the way down. But we are looking to create a little bit more intensity. So once you get the pattern down, you can pick up that pace a little bit. Your body knows where to go next. You just focus on the breathing. We've got this. And rest. Shake it out. We're coming into our elevated bear press next. So you can take this on the floor if the chair creates too much complication. Otherwise, we're coming into our bear position with the feet elevated. Shoulders over wrists, hips over knees, and we're pressing those legs up. So the knees come to hover. We straighten the spine, and then we press. I want you to, as best as you can, fix the position of the shoulders. So try not to come through downward dog so much, but instead just focus on the work in the legs. So all the movement is happening in that extension of the legs and then bending of the knees. You should feel the quads really fire up here. And rest. Slowly come down, take your time as you transition back to standing. We're going to add some conditioning, some intensity. You're going to start in a seated position. It's a chair squat jump. So I want you to lift your feet, stomp the floor, and either jump or lift onto the toes. Here we go. Get some power. I want you to lift your feet each time, whether you're jumping or maybe you're just lifting onto the toes with some power. Keeping it quiet and low impact. Otherwise, you're jumping. You're getting some air time here. Playing with power. We've got 15 more seconds. Move a little quicker if you can through that transition at the bottom. Breathe. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Rest here. We're coming into our elevated side plank. So I'm going to bring my blanket cushion for that harder surface here. We're elevating the feet in our side plank, coming through a knee hug, and then we'll just alternate sides. So feet are up. You can also do this one on the ground if you wish. We're hugging that knee in, rotate, and exchange. Hug that knee in. Come through center. Take your time through that transition so that you don't throw yourself off balance. You're bringing the knee straight in front of the body rather than up and out to the side. So we're really focusing on the deeper layers of the abdominal wall, your transverse abdominis, internal obliques here. Requires a great deal of stability in the shoulder. And rest. Slowly come out. We're going to close it out with a heels elevated glute bridge. So you're coming down onto the mat. You're going to place your heels on that chair or stair. I want you to hug your hips close to that surface, and we're just lifting up into our bridge. Let's get ready and begin. Here we go. Up and back down. So with the higher elevation in the heels, you most likely won't need to come all the way down to the floor between reps. Really want you to focus at the top, scooping the tailbone under. Drive through those heels. Lift the toes. Feeling the hamstrings work here. So by scooping the tail at the top, we're keeping the lower back neutral, not throwing any strain into that lumbar spine. And rest. I want you to take your time as you transition from your supine position back up to the chair for tricep dips. We are at the top of round 2. Let's get ready. 3, 2, and 1. So remember, you're keeping your hips nice and close to that chair, keeping the front ribs drawing in, pubic bone curling up. I want you to keep your shoulders nice and broad. So keep the chest open here. Down and up. You can pick up the pace a little bit if you need to. If you want to generate more of that stimulus, more intensity for the triceps. Really push down into that chair with the heels of the hands. Make sure you're extending the arms all the way at the top. Last one. And rest. Shake out your wrists. Coming into our side step ups with a 180 next. So again, you can take out that jump if you wish. Maybe just step up onto the toes and pivot to come into the second side with each rep. We're going to get ready to step up to the side, hug that knee into your chest. Let's begin now. We lift it up, come down, low, and switch. Up, squeeze the knee, get low, and switch. I always jump toward the chair and just to keep that evenness from side to side, and gives you less to keep track of if you always go the same direction toward the chair. You're keeping the body nice and tight here, so we're not letting any of the limbs become fluid. We're staying connected. Rest. Shake it out. Elevated plank walk is next. You're going to bring your toes up onto that chair, stair, or bench. Just walk the hands in and out. What I want you to focus on is not dipping the shoulders and the hips as you walk, but trying to keep that plane fixed and even. Here we go. Walk it in. Nice and slow. Come to that vertical position and then walk it out. Full plank. Again, in both phases of the movement, you're curling that pubic bone up toward the navel, even as you stretch the spine through the chest. So we've got kind of 2 key actions happening to keep the core integrated. Walk it out. And come down. Rest nice and easy. Our step ups are next. So we come into our step up, and then you've got that reverse lunge to a jump switch. Again, you can step forward and back to switch. Just make sure you're staying nice and low to keep tension on the legs. Let's get ready and begin. Step it up, hug the knee in, nice and controlled, jump switch. Find that pattern, that rhythm, and just let your body move. It'll tell you where to go. It's that natural flow, that natural gait of the legs. Step it up, come back, and jump switch. Again, if you're stepping to switch, you're just stepping it forward and back, keeping it nice and low. And rest. Shake it out. Elevated bear press is next. We're going to bring those feet up onto the chair. Again, you're not coming into full downward dog. I want you to keep your shoulders more or less in the same position to the extent that that's possible with the legs elevated. So we're going to come into bear plank, tone the belly, and begin. Press it up and back down. So just the legs move here. Keep the upper body nice and fixed. Pressing through the finger pads. I want you to spread all 10 toes. So you've got the ball mounds of the feet firmly pressing into that chair. You should feel your core on fire here. So don't let it collapse at the bottom. Keep that low belly drawing in. Shoulders relax away from the ears. And rest. Slowly come down. Let's transition back to standing. We've got our chair jumps next. So you're seated, you're lifting the feet with every rep and then coming up onto the toes or all the way into that jump. Let's get ready. 2, 1. I want you to stomp and come down. So some of this impact can be beneficial for bone density, especially if you're in your 30s, 40s, 50s. Great opportunity to really send the signals for building bone density. And a little bit of healthy impact can go a long way. So really stomp those feet. If you're trying to stay quiet and not so loud, I really just want you to lift with some power so you can have those soft landings if needed. Last one. And rest. Shake it out. We've got our elevated side plank with a knee hug next. So again, I'm going to create a little bit of cushion for comfort here. Want your hand slightly forward of the wrist. So you've got that strong loading angle in the arms here. We hug that knee straight forward. Slow and controlled. Switch sides. Bring it forward. And switch. So we're not letting the hips dip as we come through center. We're keeping those hips elevated. And rotate. Knee comes straight out in front. Back to center. And switch. So you're bringing the elbow and the knee straight in front of the body. Reach and pull. Let's get one more rep here. And slowly come down. Shake it out. Shake out those wrists. A lot of weight bearing on the hands. It's just kind of the way we create resistance with body weight only. We're going to close out the second round with a heels elevated glute bridge. Bring your heels up. Press through the heels. Lift your toes. Arms by your sides. And squeeze the glutes. Want the legs to stay parallel the entire time. So you've got that magnetic pull hugging the inner thighs to the midline, but then they can't quite touch. So you feel that strong tension in the inner thighs. I want you to curl and scoop the tailbone under at the top and then come down just to neutral. So we don't want you to have to arch your spine as you come down. Find that neutral position instead. Hamstrings, glutes on fire here. Let's get one more rep. Squeeze and come down. Coming up nice and slow as you transition back to the top of our third and final round. Let's finish this one so strong. Tricep dips are next. Let's come into position. Heels of the hands on that chair, fingers facing forward, and begin. Down and up. I'm going to try to pick up the pace a little bit here, get a few more reps in, but again, without losing that embodied quality. So your focused mechanics are strong. We're hugging those elbows in behind, feeling a little bit of a stretch across the chest. We've got 20 more seconds. How many reps can you get in this final round? Elbows straight back, hugging in close behind you. Breathe. Exhale with every push. Relax your fingers. 3, 2, and 1. Slowly come up, shake out those hands. We're coming into our side step up to a 180 twist to change sides. So roll out the shoulders, get ready to move, come into position. Let's get ready. 2 and 1. Lift it up, come down, deep squat, and change. Up, knee to the center, come down, and switch. Really want you to press through that top heel, activating inner and outer glutes. Inner thighs and outer glutes, excuse me. So you should feel that happening as you step up, squeeze the legs together, come down, and switch. Let's finish this rep and rest. Shake it out. We've got our elevated plank walks. Feet will go up on that chair. Again, you're keeping the arms nice and stable here. Let's get ready. Heart rate should climb after those conditioning bursts. Come into your plank to slow it down and begin. Walk it in. Get your pike position and come back out. This is one of my favorite movement patterns for really articulating the upper back and the muscles of the spine without the need for load. We're just working on strength and stability and also mobility as we bring the hands a little bit closer to the feet with each rep, getting more range of motion. Curl the pubic bone to navel at both ends of the movement. Here we go. And rest. Slowly come down. Take a breath. We've got our recovery interval, and then we're stepping up to a reverse lunge, jump switch, and keep it going. This one, I want it to feel very fluid, very natural in terms of where your legs want to go. Let's begin. Hug the knee in, step it back, reverse lunge, jump switch. We got this. The step ups, anything where you're adding that little bit of elevation is a great way to build strength in the legs when you don't have access to equipment. You can use what you have around you without the need for super heavy dumbbells. You're getting that resistance with the elevation. And 3, 2, 1. Almost missed the last rep there. Let's shake it out. Elevated bear press is next. So again, you're coming with your feet on that chair. We're going to straighten and bend the knees. Let's come into position, shoulders over the wrists, hips directly over the knees. Make sure they're not too far back or too far forward. So again, focus that movement only on the legs. If you can, fix the position of your shoulders over the wrists. So you're not letting the body slide back. You're just lifting and lowering the knees. At the bottom, keep that low belly nice and strong, hugging in. Keep the neck neutral here. Let's get one more rep. And rest. Slowly come out, shake out your wrists. Chair jumps next. Come to a seat. So here I really want you to create, if it works for where you're working out, I want you to create that strong press to either a jump or lifting high on the toes. Here we go. Move it a little bit quicker through that transition so you can get more reps in this final interval. So as soon as your hips touch down, you're lifting those feet and then moving right into the next rep. Quick action in the hip flexors. Halfway there. Let's finish this strong. Build some intensity. Continuous movement. Don't stop. Last 3, 2, and 1. Shake it out. Side plank with a knee hug. I love that variation of the squat jump because it's so accessible. It kind of takes out the strain, the impact, and makes it work. Let's come into our side plank and hug that knee in straight to the front. Elbow meets it. You're lifting that leg as close to that elbow as you can. So we're not rounding in the upper back. We're keeping that steady and strong. Making those smooth transitions from side to side. Exchanging the load from one leg to the other. We are so close to the end. Let's finish it strong. Hug the knee in. One more rep here. And slowly come down. We're coming into our heels elevated glute bridge to close out our workout. So come down onto your back. Bring those heels up. Hug the hips close, arms by your sides. Relax the shoulders and begin. Lift, scoop the tail. Come down to neutral. Lift and scoop, back to neutral. So in that bottom position, you're not arching the lower back. So that might mean that you're floating pretty high up off the floor, and that's okay. It's going to keep some tone in the hamstrings and the glutes the entire way. And then you have that squeeze, that lift with those powerful glutes. As you come up, you're hugging the pubic bone toward your belly button, scooping the tailbone under. Lift and squeeze. Last one. And come down. Take some time. We're going to stay on the back to begin our cool down. You might just give yourself a little bit more space. I want you to windshield wiper your knees here just for a moment. Let the breath rate slow down. Then we're going to keep the left foot on the ground. Lift your right leg high. Stretch the heel toward the sky. Hug your toes toward your shin. So really lifting like you're trying to press your heel to the ceiling. Gently encouraging that leg closer to you. Really flexing the quad to signal the release of the hamstring. So press the back of your knee away from you. You can kind of wrap the inner thigh away from you, outer thigh toward you. Let's switch sides now. So left leg extends, press the heel toward the sky, toes toward your shin. Take your hands on inner and outer thigh and rotate the inner thigh away from you, the outer thigh toward you, just slightly without adjusting the foot. Find that breath. Really flex the quad here by pressing the back of the knee toward the opposite side of the room. That'll help the hamstrings relax. Then we'll bring that left foot down, cross your right ankle over your left knee. Hug that shape of your body toward you without lifting the shoulders. You can use your right elbow to open the right knee out to the side. Flex that right foot, maybe massage the toes. Really accentuate the arch of your foot. You might rock gently side to side here. Again, letting your breath calm and return to its baseline. Let's switch sides. So right foot down, cross that left ankle over right. Keep that left foot flexed. Use your left elbow to press that left knee open. Shoulders stay relaxed on the mat the whole time. So don't sweat it if you can't bring your legs very close. That's okay. I want you to keep neck and shoulders relaxed. You might massage your foot again, really kind of defining that arch of the foot. So our goal with the cool down is to resolve that stress response. We're doing that here with that slow, steady breath. Let's roll onto our bellies now for Sphinx pose. So I really want you to anchor your hip bones to the mat, forearms on the floor. Drag the hands energetically back like you're trying to slingshot your heart through your upper arm bones. Stretch back through the legs, keep them active so that you don't feel any pinching in the lower back. When we check out of the legs, that's when we kind of throw all of the compression into the lower back. But if we can strengthen and lengthen those legs, we get more space in the spine here. Next up, child's pose. Let your knees come nice and wide. Big toes touch. Soften the hips toward the heels If your knees are uncomfortable in this position, you can always come into more of a puppy pose with the hips lifted. We're just looking to get some stretch in the shoulders and opening in the inner thighs, the hips here. You can rest your forehead on the mat if that feels good. Next up, we're coming into a kneeling position. So up onto the shins, hands behind the head. I want you to lift up and out through the heart, open the elbows. And then as you round in, draw those elbows toward the knees, curl through the spine, chin to chest. So it's a kneeling cat-cow spine here. We just lift up, extend, soften the shoulders away from the ears, support your head and neck, and then round in. Keep the tops of the feet anchored on the mat behind you. Legs stay parallel. Let's open it up one more time. And then come down. Press your feet to the mat, step your feet to your hands, keep a generous bend in the knees. Take opposite elbows here, relax the head and neck. So I want you to release all the weight of your torso to gravity and just sway side to side in a ragdoll. Feel that kind of outer stretch on the legs. Just freeing any tension in the low spine here. I want you to slowly release the hands to the mat. On your inhale, halfway lift your spine. Bring your hands to your thighs. Feel that support. And then very slowly roll up all the way to standing. That completes our cool down for today. Maybe shake out the arms a little bit more. Big shoulder circles here. Let's close together with a huge breath in. Inhale. Let it go with a sigh. That completes your total body strength work for today. I want to celebrate you for showing up, for putting in the work, even when you might be away from your comfort zone, your home gym, all of your equipment. I want to champion you for continuing to show up and for staying consistent while you're on the road. Maybe you're traveling, visiting friends or family. You have showed up for yourself, and I want you to celebrate that today. So thank you for being here and for letting your body be moved.